Hey folks, Garlic here with the Living Medicine Project, and I wanted to make this video today because I've been walking through the woods here and just thinking a lot about how I used to teach plant walks as one of the first things. It's one of the first things that people who are interested in plants want to do is take a plant walk and learn how to name plants. And I actually want to discourage that now. I mean, I still do them. But in this video, I want to present a different idea that I think will help you to deepen your relationship with the plants because it's something that you'll feel rather than just something that you'll intellectualize. So I'm here in Victoria. It's actually this plant right here that kind of caught me. You see these, let's see. I don't know how much you can see that, but yeah, there's some fresh leaves and some little flower buds on this shrub that are starting up here. And it just had the memory jump into my mind of people always asking, oh, what's the name of that plant? What's the name of that plant? And I want to encourage you to honor that when that comes up, because that curiosity is really awesome. I'm not trying to quell in any way, shape, or form the curiosity that you have about the green world. I want to really nourish that. And I think the best way to nourish that is actually to not tell you the name of the plant. So first of all, many plants have many names. There's different regional names, there's different common names. Some point to the use, some point to this or that. Some are just really weird. And those stories have been lost about where they've come from. And what I want to encourage you to do is just give it a name yourself. It doesn't have to be the right name, in air quotes there. It just has to be a name, something that reflects maybe how you feel in its presence or something that you notice about it. Because there's a lot of power in naming. And often, and here's the thing, here's the pattern that I want to help you avoid because it closes down that curiosity. Is so often they'll point, say, hey, what's the name of that plant? And they're really curious. I can ask some questions. Hey, what kind of leaf does it have? What kind of roots does it have? Are there lots around? What other plants is it growing with? Does it like the shade? Does it like the direct sun? All these sorts of things. What are the companion plants that it's growing around? Are there insects on it? What's happening? Tell me the whole picture. And I'll ask those questions and people will get more and more curious and they'll answer those questions. And as soon as I say, oh, that's this plant, then they say, oh, they think they know something and they move on to the next one. Like, oh, now tell me about this one. And so it's a way that we end up consuming the information without actually integrating it, without actually it making a lot of difference to us when we're in the forest or when we're out in nature, wherever that is. I'm a forest dweller, so I often use in the forest as my default for wherever people are out in nature. So, yeah, and so this approach really encourages you to develop a relationship with the plant yourself. It is totally helpful to have the name that most people use for it. And at some point, it could be really helpful to have the scientific name so that you know for sure that you're dealing with this plant and not that plant, especially when you're making medicine. That stuff I really encourage, and I think it's really helpful to apply the linear mind to that. Until then, what we have is a relationship that we can have with this living being. We can notice how we feel. We can start to intuit its medicine. Just start to notice how we feel in response to it, how it interacts with the world that it lives in. And that can tell us a lot, because so much of the medicine about these plants, so much of what they have to offer to us is actually found in the personality of the plant, and not just the scientific name, or not just the correct name that somebody tells you, oh, that's what this is called. And so we get caught up in that. And I wanted to encourage you to break that mold, to go out, to name plants yourself. Quick story here is that I did this exercise with my youngest son, where he sat with a plant, or he came and he said, oh, what's the name of this plant? He went through that process I just described. And I said, how about you just sit and ask it what its name is? And so he was gone for a long time, and I got busy doing something else in the garage. And maybe like an hour later, he came back and he said, it's Jerry. I said, what's Jerry? Who's Jerry? And he was like, don't you know? Come on, Papa. The plant that you told me to go and ask it what its name is. Its name is Jerry. Was that the name that I was going to give it? No. Is that now the name that he uses every time he sees that plant around or something that looks like it? He'll say, "Hey, Papa, is this Jerry?" Was he really disappointed and really hurt when we potted it up and took it inside and then I forgot to water it in the winter? Yeah, because he developed a really personal relationship with this plant. And so now he called it Jerry, right? Like I had no idea. And it taught me a lot, even though I've shared this teaching for many years. It taught me a lot about what actually happens in the heart of a child. And I think that when we can relate to ourselves and really treat ourselves, our inner children, with that same care, with that same nourishing of curiosity and recognition of the natural connection that we have with the world, then so much can be learned, and it's so nourishing for us. So, so if this resonates with you, please share it with some friends. I haven't done this before. I mean, I've been making a few videos recently. I haven't done the explicit ask you to sign up, to subscribe, and to click the notifications. I am going to be creating a lot more content in 2021. And so if you like these videos, then check them out and pass them around. It'll help me a lot, and I'd love to hear about how this stuff lands for you. So that's it for me today. Thanks so much. I'm Garlic with thelivingmedicineproject.com. I will talk to you next time.